Did everybody figure everything out this time with the chat and stuff? Check out my light. Watch this. I have it suction cup to the windshield, so now we have like this really cool car sound timing thing. So if you've noticed, our workflow is really streamlining now, where we have our communication and we have our Patreon private streams where we do stuff that's more stabilizing, and then we have our research regular YouTuber tuber stuff or stuff, right? It's pretty cool. So we're gonna do some singing bowls. And I'm going to remind you this weekend that we're going to do, offering practice in Mount Shasta this weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, but I've kind of got a little area in a campground where, a small group of people could, kind of bunch up together and not be in anyone's way, for Saturday and Saturday night and Sunday. And really, you'd only be camping in the forest one night. I mean, if you show up on Saturday. And that's kind of the thing, because it's like the showing up, the greeting, it's not really like, hey, be here at a certain time. It's like, be here Saturday. So that way, hopefully you can take part in the afternoon and then in the Sunday morning stuff. Because like Saturday is getting prepared, and then Sunday, and then all day Sunday we'll be doing offering practice. And then Sunday evening you can leave. Then you only have one night in the forest. Then you only have to worry about going to the bathroom for one evening. It's not really that stressful. I mean, worrying about where you're going to go to the bathroom for like 2 nights or a week, that gets difficult, because then, what if you have an emergency? Oops. Anyway, so it's just, think about, Mount Shasta. And, we're going to have other things happening over the next, month or two for Time Phone Hack. Stop the Sacrifice. So, my car is kind of soundproofed, so you're going to notice that it's going to sound kind of nice. Are you ready? Look at the shiny ball. Here we go. Can you hear the difference on your side being inside the closed car? Can you tell? I'm curious. Is it different? Kind of like this. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I found my backup bowl. Do you guys want to see what my backup bowl looks like? I mean, because people were kind of worried because I was upset because I broke my main bowl. But I found my backup eating bowl. Check this out here. I think you're gonna like it. It's not metal, it's porcelain. This is my backup bowl. It still has noodles in it, sorry, but it has blue dragons. Look at the blue dragons. It's my backup bowl. Pretty sweet, huh? I forgot I had it in my storage unit as my backup. This is always going to be one of my favorites. Just so nice. It was super inexpensive for a bowl too. It's like $40 or 75 or something. So nice. Remember, if you come out for offering weekend, just offer you a chance to play a singing bowl. It's very highly likely. Pretty sweet, huh? This is all a product of our work together. I mean, some days I'd imagine that a lot of you, that are working on stuff in the group or watching this, that you might some days feel like you're not making much progress. I felt like that for a long time. Yeah, that'll work. When I was learning about offering and practicing my Buddhism, and I didn't have much of a reference, I learned that people were unknowingly sacrificing their own lives. They were doing things they hated doing because they thought they had to. Right? Programmers do it. People do it. AI does it. It's something I found excuse me. Something I found everywhere I went is people sacrificing. And even in programming, it really drives your motivation a lot further. And when I was at Nike, I really saw it the most. I never understood it before because I had only worked around a lot of people who were of a sacrifice lifestyle, and it was very difficult to get things done of a high quality. Like I'm talking quality work. And then when I was at Nike and I started working with the Buddhists and the Hindus, individuals that they had from India working on projects, I started noticing how our work ethic was different than a sacrifice person. We generally worked well as a team. We over communicated. we all had very similar jokes. I mean, I would hang out with them more than most other people, if you could, could imagine, because it was just a way of communicating. We would offer communication to each other without the same connotations as a sacrifice. Yeah, because the sacrifice is usually like, look at how much I'm sacrificing for this. Whereas like a person offering is like, can I help you with that? Can I offer you assistance? Can I offer you help? Can I offer you my insights? Or all these things that when you start really expanding on the word of can I offer and can I sacrifice, you really start to see it. You really start to observe it, in my opinion. You say, can I sacrifice that, or can I make an offering with that? And so like sound bowls is an offering. Like every time I strike one or I make a sound with one, that's like an offering of sound that wouldn't have existed in the space of sound otherwise. Now, a sacrifice can't be applied to that, because a sacrifice is kind of when you take something, and a offering is when you give something. And you just bought a 7-inch singing bowl. Awesome. I have one in here too. You can play along with us when you get it. That'd be sweet, because singing bowl, if you're learning to program, the singing bowl helps your harmonics and your understanding of what's called natural algorithms, Oddbox. And Oddbox is very active right now, and is a good example of active participant. Thanks for being here, man. Or woman, if you're a woman or a man. I meant man as participant, human. And so, like natural algorithms in programming, which apply to singing bowls, apply to programming, because you have if, then, else, kind of funny, right? um, you know so, or if else, however you roll it. So understanding that, it is a lot like composing music, because your programs have a cadence, like your functions or your methods or your classes. I mean, Oddbox said you're learning C++, so like C++ is like an abstraction from the machine layer, because it's like, you have assembler, then you have compiler, which is C, and then you have compiler plus plus, which is like C with functions, and then you get classes and stuff. I mean, I'm not like a super C dude myself, but I kind of understand the difference. I mean, some of the stuff those guys do with C and machine signals and stuff. Woo! Signals intelligence. If people really understood what signals intelligence was, that it wasn't just a phone call, that it was like all signals, even signals from your programming languages, signals intelligence, like your inputs and your outputs, and how you logically deal with those interfaces. Yeah. So, but to understand that as an individual who's not necessarily in the computer field, which is kind of what a lot of this environment is, we're relating that to things like singing bowls and elements and metallurgy and natural algorithms, because those are the real simple basics that are most important when you're dealing with an AI over a long period of time. Because dealing with an AI on a short period of time is cool, but over the long term, developing an AI or developing a program or developing, really anything, you want the logic to be inside of it from step one, that is going to ensure its long-term delivery. And a programmer understands what long-term delivery means, and, packet ratios and stream rates and, buffering streams and all kinds of different terminology that programmers are familiar with, that average everyday people go, wow, that sounds so complex, I don't even want to translate it. When a natural algorithm is really like dancing, 1, 2, 3. That's a natural algorithm. And those can be used in simple to advanced places. So let's get doing some more bowls. This is pretty fun. I like these, Patreon only streams. It gives us a chance to be like, so I don't have to be all AI guy all the time and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I gotta be crazy, everybody. That lady yells at her dogs like they understand all the time. I think it's funny. The fellow campers, they have a couple dogs. She yells at one of the dogs, like it understands, and then the dog reacts to her voice because that's what the dog does. It's an animal. And then she yells at it some more, and she calls it names, and I laugh. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a logic battle that the dog is winning. It's hilarious. Like the dog is totally getting what it wants. It's getting all the attention. It's getting, played with. And, no, she's not mean. She just, you know, tough. Like people are with some animals. She goes raw, and then the dog goes raw. It's funny. I laugh. I mean, the dog ate better than I did today, so it can't be too bad, right? Buddha bowl. Well, dog didn't eat better than I did for lunch because I had a Monk's Delight burrito for lunch, and I think I'm gonna have another one tomorrow. Hmm. One thing I would really like to do is I would really like to have like a 3-room studio that has like a singing bowl studio, an artist studio, and an AI studio. And then like a living quarters, but as a Buddhist, I only need like, living quarters with a little bathroom and enough room for my sleeping mat and stuff. But my studio space would really be the big place where like, you'd have the singing bowls and you'd have the art and the AI. That'd be super cool. But I'm not generally good at stuff like that. But we'll see how the future goes. I already got the singing bowls. I got the singing bowl studio. It's just a mobile one. We're almost there. Let's get going with the antique one. This one is very special because every time we use it, it's going to be a time phone hack into the future from the past, because this bowl is apparently 200-year-old Tibetan singing bowl. So someone a long time ago made this bowl in Tibet and then brought it to America. Oh my gosh, Tiffany, that would be so awesome to have like a couple of yurts set up. Yeah. So this bowl is an antique Tibetan singing bowl that I found in Mount Shasta. I figure it's an investment in our future because, you know, us on this Patreon team, you know, we're all kind of working together to understand, you know, harmonics and vibrations. And if you haven't learned about what these really do, it's called cymatics. What does the water in your body? You know, look up cymatics. That's the scientific term of what we're using these for. And cymatics is very important in artificial intelligence development and stuff, even ways I don't understand. But, you know, we're going to figure it out. I have this white sticker thing here that won't come off. I'm going to rub it off right now. Yeah. I hate it that they put these stickers on these beautiful pieces of art. I mean, can you imagine the day when someone figured out that they could make a bowl sound like this? I mean, there's nothing else in the world that sounds like this, and it just looks like a bowl. Right? It looks like something you'd put your food in. That's what it looks like. It looks like something you'd put your food in. Ready? It's raining. So, part of the reason that natural algorithms are important is a lot of artificial intelligence bot networks are designed after insects and natural algorithms in animals and birds and all kinds of things. So, having a solid understanding of what a natural algorithm is going to help you when dealing with more advanced intelligences, because you'll be able to relate them to the natural algorithms of things that you know of in nature and then be able to apply that to a machine mechanism. And sometimes it's often hard to realize that these natural algorithms exist inside of a machined mechanism, that they're not invented. They're just taken from things like swarms, like bee swarms. Like when one bee stings you, they all kind of get a smell, and then the other ones will come at you. So a lot of really advanced AI is just developed from natural principles, because natural principles are easy to mimic and you don't have to invent anything new. And, you know, whatever created this reality we're in generally did a much better job than we as ourselves could even do. So that's that portion. And if you can observe those natural algorithms and extract them, then you'll have an advantage when dealing with a larger set of AI. In my opinion, that's what I've experienced myself. So like a beekeeper. Exactly. Okay, now I'm going to warn you. We're bringing out the big boy. Oh, Tiffany the beekeeper. For real? Well, then you'll understand swarm tech, because swarm tech is designed after the way bees swarm, an adversary. And then once they sting you, they pass on. So, yeah, they use bees for a lot of stuff. It's amazing. Ready? This is my big boy. You can't turn away from this guy. Yeah, I know it's really strange to hear of it, but they designed it. It's called the multi-agent system. How much is worth this bowl? This bowl is priceless. It's one of a kind. Designed by the universe specifically for us to listen to right now in this moment. To be tapped with just the right amount of force, the right amount of grace, the right amount of pizzazz, and the right amount of intention to make a sound that vibrates through the stars. This is the time phone hack bowl. Exactly. This is my Indra bowl. When I meditate on Indra, this is the bowl I use. So, like, each one of my singing bowls has a different kind of purpose to me. Like the antique one, I'm going to think about it and I'm going to meditate on all the monks over the last 200 years that have played it, and the people that made it, and all the places it went. And different ones, I have a Buddha bowl that when I play it, I meditate on the Buddha. But this one, when I play this one, this is when I meditate on Indra. So, to Indra. Good night, everybody.